Okay, perfect. It says
Okay.
you are live.
Let's go. Oh.
Okay, there's some funny delay, some latency going on. If you can see us, drop a W in the chat, or a 1 or a 2 or a really long sentence. It doesn't really matter. Just put something into the chat if you can see us, if you can hear us. And yeah, we're absolutely excited for this. It's the second time we are going live. The first one was an absolute success, but it has been some time, so as we are not two techie people, we needed some time to actually set this up again, and it's quite confusing if you're not used to it. Okay, W from Dani, W. We see Muyibas in the chat, Abdulakim. Okay, cool, fire. Seems like we are live. And yes, perfect. Okay, let's just get started. Short intro, we are extremely excited for this. It's going to be the first time that we are actually talking about the strategy that we're implementing in our one-on-one agency with our clients for the past 2 years. I mean, the strategy we'll explain you did not exist 2 years ago, but over time, over the past, let's say 24 months or 18 to 24 months, we have built out this strategy together with all our clients at OmniFusion AI, where we build custom AI solutions, custom AI appointment setting, and full AI sales systems from Instagram to WhatsApp, SMS to call booking, and so on. So we have prepared something for you, and I'm gonna share this right now. Let me share my screen, and let's just hope everything works. Boom. Oof. This should just work. Let's move this a bit like this, so we are both visible. And now that's it, right?
Let's go.
All right. Top of it, let's move this a bit around.
No, there's a black bar on the top.
That's okay. People love those black bars. Cool, perfect. We'll just go ahead and start. So we try to keep it as efficient as possible. We are targeting for 1 hour, which we literally did last time as well, and then it took a bit more than 2. Today we're trying to get better, and we'll try to achieve everything in less than 1 hour. And at the end we will have a Q&A where you can ask any kind of question. We will have a full walkthrough of DM Tracker, which is our new SaaS, which we just launched 2 weeks ago. And we'll also explain how it fits into this whole system. So I'll just go ahead and start presenting from here. So the whole topic of today's presentation is how to turn Instagram DMs into a 100K per month machine. And 100K per month is just an amazing number. We have clients doing 400, 500, 600K per month, but we also have clients doing 50, 60, 70K per month using the same exact system. The only differentiation in the end is just the volume of leads, and obviously also the cost of your product. What's the pricing? Is it MRR? Is it one time? And there's a lot of variables coming to that. What you will learn today. These are the topics we will go through during today's presentation. And first of all, we will have market research strategies. Then we will talk about how to optimize your profile to attract qualified buyers. Emil is going to present that part. Then we're going to explain you the different tactics of how to generate reach through content and ads. This is all specific to Instagram. Obviously, there's a billion other ways to create reach and generate leads, but we are focusing on Instagram specifically. The frameworks to turn strangers into prospects and how to book calls. Setting calls without sounding salesy. The tools that ensure you never forget to follow up again. TLDR, spoiler, it's DM Tracker. And the follow-up frameworks and templates, just some templates for you to be able to use them right away after this call or after this presentation. At the end, we'll talk about how to scale. And for everyone who makes it through with us until the end of this YouTube live, will get a special exclusive surprise for everyone who's still live later. And this is just something that is only available today, and it's only happening once. So it pays off to listen to these two dudes for an hour or so. And we hope you will learn something new. Our only intention here is to spread as much value as we can and show you what's possible if you have the right strategy and the right systems that you're using. So not to freestyle it, which most people actually do on Instagram. People have a product, people have something to sell, they even have audience and reach, and we see this all the time. We have clients who have hundred thousands of followers but don't have a sales system, which is perfect for us when we come in. But our goal for now, for today, is after this presentation, you will have a sales system that you can take with yourself, customized to your own needs, and use it right away to make revenue with the audience you have, or you will get after that from Instagram. Cool, we have more people joining, super happy to see that. If anything is broken, if the audio is gone or the video is gone or anything burns down, please put it into the chat and we'll try to take care of it. Why does this even matter? Instagram has more than 2 billion active users. It's the biggest, largest, and most active social platform out there. And in 2025 and even the past few years, Instagram is not only a social platform anymore to meet friends and see what your mom is eating today. It's becoming more and more and increasingly more important for businesses and actually as a channel of making revenue. Many companies we work with rely on Instagram fully with their whole business, and it's in our last 2 years we focused on Instagram for a reason, because we think it's literally the best platform out there to reach every kind of prospect, to target any kind of client, and to get the target audience you want. And most of the solutions on Instagram are actually free to use. You can create content for free and get reach. You can do outreach for free on Instagram and actually talk to your target audience, and so many other advantages. It's the fastest way to get more clients in 2025. Building a personal brand, showing your expertise, and showing them proof every single day that you know what you're talking about is one of the strongest ways of how to get more clients in 2025. And most high-ticket businesses lose 50% of their sales or even more by not following up. And this is why today's, let's say, today's education in this case matters so much, because most companies really focus on getting more leads, and I have a lot of calls where they say, yeah, I need more leads. And when I then analyze their business, I rarely need more than 10 minutes to tell most of these people, you don't need more leads. You're just not doing anything with the leads you have. So you might have leads already which you don't know of, or which you're not efficiently using yet. And this will change today. And the system we're going to show you is consistently producing 100K plus a month for our clients. And this is not just one time or works for 1 month. We have proven that this system works for months and years, and it will probably work in a couple years from now as well. So this is quite important for everyone watching this. Emil said it might be a good idea to show our market case study at this point, and I'll quickly do that. And it's funny, everything you see on screen right now was created 2 years ago when we just started out with OmniFusion AI. This was basically the first thing we did. We got our first clients from Instagram. We're still getting clients from Instagram today. And what I did back then, more than 2 years ago, with cold outreach to reach our target audience back then, was Instagram growth coaches. We were building AI persona chatbots for Instagram growth coaches 2 years back. This was GPT-3 times, or even before GPT-3, I have no idea. More than 2 years ago, July, August 2023. And what I did is I was texting a lot of coaches every single day, cold outreach manually before AutoIGDM existed, from my personal Instagram account, and reaching out to them, asking them if they're open to take new clients at the moment, right? That was a bit of a sneaky version, and a lot of you already copied that because we have shown that in the past live stream, but it just works because the intention of doing outreach is to get a reply. And what would they reply to if they do not reply to, hey, do you take new clients right now? Because it sounds like I'm an interested person in their business, right? And to go through this quite quickly is, what I did is I texted hundreds of these coaches, which actually took a lot of time of my life. And because I was so pissed about this, that's actually why AutoIGDM was born, because I was pissed doing this every single day. And TLDR, I created a case study out of every single outreach message I sent. I tracked when they respond, if they respond, and what happens with those leads that text them, which is me. I was an interested lead. And the results actually shocked us. So this is the results. Let me see if this is the most clear version. The response rates in percentage. Out of 266 coaches I messaged, and all of these coaches have more than 10,000 followers, and all of these coaches have something to sell. That was a pre-requirement. I texted all of them that I'm interested in their product, if they take new clients right now, if they can help me with my issue, and all of these things. And out of 266 messages, I only got 67 replies back, which means 80%, close to 80%, around 75% or so. Let me see the numbers. 74.8, like 75% did not reply back to me. And that's the same coaches that were probably sitting in a call with someone at that day saying, I don't have enough leads. I need more leads. I have a lead issue. Or talking to their sales team, asking them to get more leads. Meanwhile, I'm going down in their request folder somewhere on Instagram, probably next to 100 other Instagram DMs, which were never opened or replied to. And this was basically what kickstarted our journey of solving this for coaches and consultants out there. And 2 years later, this is where we are. We have done this for nearly 100 coaches and consultants one-on-one with our OmniFusion AI agency. We have helped more than 10,000 people with auto IGDM, and the M tracker is just newly launched 2 weeks ago, and we are pretty sure that it will have the same or better track record that auto IGDM has. So this is where it all started. If you guys are interested in this case study, and if you want to read it through and everything we learned from that experiment, put it in the chat, comment somewhere down below that you want this, and I will make it happen for you and just send you the link so you have access to this to read this through fully. Going back to the presentation. Why this matters, we just discussed that. This is the last slide I'm gonna annoy you with. After that, Emil's gonna take over. So it's a simple 4-step plan to reach 100K per month inside of your DMs. And today we're not going to talk about creating a nice product or having a nice info or community or anything related to the delivery, because we hope you figured that out already, and if not, you will figure it out. However, we will only talk about the sales systems from start to finish and what's necessary in a repeatable process that's also scalable to actually achieve 100K per month, because it's easier than you think if you have the process in place, and it's also more automated than you think. If you do everything I'm going to teach you now in the right way and have a couple people who work with you, you don't even need to touch this on a daily basis, and it just runs on autopilot. So the 4 steps of getting all of this done is, first of all, you need reach, right? Without any audience, all of the systems make no sense. So we will talk about how to get reach. Get in front of the right people. Get in front of the right people through content and ads. You could also add cold outreach to this. However, cold outreach will only go as far as sending 50 DMs for one single account per day. So the scale we are talking about, 100K plus per month, you definitely need content and ads for that one way or the other. Step number 2, start conversations. And this is where already most people fuck it up. I have to be totally honest. Many people have audience and reach, but they don't start conversations. I just made a funny skit about this, that if you don't want to scale your business, simply ignore everyone. Then you will not scale your business. So start conversation, step number 2. DM your engagers and create rapport, and also take care of your inbound DMs, which is super important, and I can't stress this enough. Step number 3 is the setting process. After starting a conversation, you have to move the qualified prospects. So first of all, you have to qualify them through a conversation. Then you have to move the qualified prospects to booked calls. That's the only thing we are selling in the DMs. We are not selling your fitness coaching. We are not selling your spiritual awakening or the fridges you're selling. We are only trying to get them on a call. That's the only purpose of what we do in step number 3. This can happen through either manually, which makes sense in the beginning to get a feel for it, to understand the script, to build a script, and to actually get a feel of the target audience. However, all clients we work with obviously use AI for this, so this step number 3 is 100% automated for our clients, and nobody ever touches these DMs manually. Step number 4, super important, and we just released the M tracker to actually make this happen, because we have seen all the 100 clients we're working with literally face the same issue, that they are losing their leads. It goes out of track. If you get 10,000 DMs per month, it's really hard to track them. So step number 4, and this is super important to actually double or triple the revenue we have done already with these 3 steps, is never lose track of a lead. And the goal of all of this is to efficiently utilize every single contact that engages with you without missing a single one. That means even if you just have 1,000 followers, you might have 10,000 leads in a month. And we will explain you exactly what that means. Every single engagement is some form of a signal that someone is interested in you, in your content, in your niche, in your market, in your business, in your product, in something. They like your picture, they like the picture. They follow your account, they view your stories continuously. All of these things are signals for us to reach out to those people and go through the steps. Cool. So far, so good. I hope everything is clear. If you're here, put something into the chat so we know that everything works continuously. And I'll pass on to Emil, who's going to take over step number 1, which is getting the reach.
Yes, let's go.
I'll leave him if you want to sit.
Okay. What is up, everybody? So step 1, reach. We tried to build it up from the fundamentals, even though a lot of people watching this are probably already going to have reach or have leads. A lot of you probably won't. So getting reach is going to be one of the first steps. And one of the most important parts here is looking at what already works in the industry that you're in. So whether you're a coach, an agency, software, it doesn't matter. You want to take what already works for sales in your niche and put a twist on it. So if somebody has 200,000 followers as a fitness coach, but there's no credibility there that he actually makes sales, there's not a lot of testimonials on his page, you shouldn't be copying his strategy. So you want to really find someone where it's clear that they work with a lot of people and actually have sales going on. The second point here is going to be to create scroll stopping content with occasional call to actions. And a rule here is if they never see you, they can't buy from you. So you're basically invisible at that point if they never see you. Now, creating the scroll stopping content with the call to actions is something that you can figure out by doing market research and sales intelligence. So I've put these very beautiful things at the bottom here. If we look at the left one, we have market research and sales intelligence, where you want to find accounts that have a clear offer in their bio. They need to be actively selling something. They post content that leads to conversations. So whether that's them having a post asking people to comment a keyword in exchange for a resource, or whether it's them posting a story asking for replies, you want to look for people who are actively trying to start conversations. This also includes in their bio, DM me a specific keyword. That's going to be something that you want to look out for. They need to use strategic call to actions in their posts, which is what I just mentioned. Comment, guide below, and I'll send you the instructions. And they need to have active engagements. So you need to actually look at their posts and be like, okay, are people commenting? Are people actually engaging with this guy? And once you've found those accounts, you can move on to the action items. You need to have 3 of those accounts in your niche that are clearly making sales, that have implemented all of these things that we just went over. So they need to be obviously making money. You don't want to be copying no broke fitness coaches. If you're a fitness coach, you want to find the ones that are actually making money. Then you want to identify the main pain points these people are addressing. The best way that you're going to be able to do that is by going through their DM sales funnel and seeing how they do it. So go to these 3 accounts, comment on one of their posts or reply to a story and see what happens. These guys usually have everything figured out, and there's not really a point in you coming up with your own strategy if you can just take what's already working. Take note of their call to action patterns. Take note of what they are doing. Write everything down. Okay, he posts this many stories a week. He does this many posts with call to actions. This is how often he posts. This is what he does in his DMs. This is how he engages people. All of these things, write it down for 3 people, and then you're going to have a suitable strategy for content and for your profile to actually get reach. Now, the next thing is going to be your profile setup, because if your profile looks average, you're going to attract average leads at best, if you attract any leads at all. So when you start posting content, you're quickly going to start getting profile visits from that content, but whether those profile visits turn into anything more is totally up to your profile setup. Now, we've done videos on this in the past, but I'm going to quickly recap with an example here on screen, which is a really successful fitness coach who does all of the things mentioned in the previous step. So if you want to see an example of people doing those call to actions and converting their audience into conversations, this account here is a perfect example. And as you can see, it has a sales-focused profile setup. So the first thing you need to have is a statement of what you do and who you do it for. I help X with Y is one of the frameworks that I tell everybody using AutoIGDM to use, for example. I help fitness coaches scale to 100K per month, for example. Then you want to have a specific outcome or transformation you provide. So in this case, he has, I help gym guys build their personal brand. I help X with Y. which is what we've been saying for a year and a half since AutoGDM has been live. And then he has an outcome or transformation or some form of social proof, which in this case is from broke to 30K a month with fitness coaching. So this immediately gives him the credibility that he went from broke to 30K a month with fitness coaching, and now he's helping other fitness coaches do the same thing. He also has a strong call to action, not just DM me, he has DM me cult to work with me, and the word cult is chosen in a way that it evokes a certain feeling. When you read the word cult, you feel something, like it's a cult, like there's something emotional there instead of just DM me to work with me. It doesn't have the same effect. So by him adding that keyword, he's gonna get a lot more inbound DMs. And then he also has a link to the lead magnet or a booking page, which is right here where he has some freebies for people to go through. So in case they aren't convinced yet, but they do want to see what he has to offer, they can always click the link here. So setting up your profile, and again, like explained in the previous step, modeling it based on the 3 accounts that you found in your niche is going to be the key to actually getting some reach and getting your profile set up in the right way. Now to go a little bit deeper on content, because I know this is a big thing, there's 3 main content pillars that you can use to build an audience. You have educational content, social proof content, and personal brand content. Educational, pretty self-explanatory. You educate your audience on their pain points and give them solutions to their pain points. Social proof content is about the result that you've achieved. So it's flexing your physique if you're a fitness coach, flexing your Lambo if you're teaching trading, or whatever the case may be. That's social proof content. And personal brand content is just content about yourself, showing some personality, because if you're boring as hell, nobody's gonna relate to you. So putting up some stories, showing your life, making some jokes, having some fun is gonna do a lot for your content as well. The real thing here is, which it doesn't say on this slide, is consistency. So we just started our Instagrams. Our Instagrams are small, but if you follow the journey over the next 6 months, you're gonna see that by consistently posting every single day, and pick at least 1 a day, but if you can do 2 or 3 a day, even better, but at least once a day, post every single day, and that consistency is gonna compound, and sooner or later you will get reach. And the great thing about this system that we're about to show you is that you don't need a ton of reach in order to actually get some people to buy your stuff. Now, with your content, you want to focus on the hook. The rest of the video is way less important than the first 3 seconds. On YouTube, for example, it's the first 30. On Instagram, it's the first 3 seconds. And here it really works best to just take proven viral hooks and recreate them. Look at these 3 creators in your niche, see what went viral for them, and then recreate those hooks and make the rest of the video your own. You'll also want to use keyword call to actions via ManyChat to start conversations. So if you're not familiar with ManyChat, you can set up an automation where if somebody comments a specific keyword on one of your posts, you then send them a message automatically. And I have an example here on the right-hand side where the coach that we just went over in this screenshot over here, he has an automation where when
they can't see it.
Cool. So if you look at this, it's the same coach from before, and I replied to a story to take a look at his DM funnel. So I said views. He asked me if I want the free sauce. I click the button, and all of this is done with ManyChat. He collects my email, and then he sends me the resource over here. And the interesting part here now is, which is the whole frame of this workshop, is to start conversations. He then has an automated way to send me this message. So he then says, hey, appreciate your message. Quick one, are you here for the free stuff, or are you interested in getting help to scale your personal brand? So he automatically follows up with everyone he sends a free resource to actually start a conversation. So you're gonna wanna use those keyword call to actions via ManyChat to actually start conversations. Free content as lead magnets are gonna be a great way to do this. So same thing for AutoGDM. If you do cold outreach, you're gonna wanna offer people some sort of free value. You wanna do the same with your content to drive people into your DMs and be able to start conversations. For ads, I'm gonna give it back to Sarah. And we're gonna awkwardly switch place again.
Yeah, actually, we need a better setup for sure if we do this more often. To just add to that, whatever, to the last point what Emil just said about the ManyChat triggers, and it's super important to use that not only to provoke engagement and get more DMs, but also recently, like in the past couple of years, Instagram is more and more leaning towards not rewarding you sharing a link. So if you have stories which show social proof or proof in general that you are an expert in your field and about the product you are selling, just putting a link in your in your story is going to hurt your reach. We already proved that these days, because Instagram obviously wants people to stay on their platform, and whenever you post a link which is linking outside of the app, Instagram will punish this by giving you less reach and less audience, because they want to keep the people on the app. And by using ManyChat to spread your link inside of the DMs, you just completely overcome that issue, and you get free engagement where you can then follow up with an automated message and then open a conversation. Cool. Ads. This is a topic we could talk about for 2 hours straight just alone about ads. That's why I will quickly run through this, what the most important factors are. If you guys are looking for more insights on how to run ads or what would be important while doing this, feel free to drop a comment and I'll make sure to post some content about that as well to help you a little bit more specific in this case. There is multiple options how you can get this system running with using ads. First and foremost is run follower ads or DMs to your profile. So there's two different kinds of ads that you can run. One of them is a meta follower ad, which is obviously a creative to share in their ad network that provokes people to follow your profile. So if people click on that image, they go to your profile. And if your profile is set up perfectly well, as Emil just explained you how it should be, then people might engage with your content, like your pictures, like your posts, watch your story, or follow you right away. And all of these signals are signals for us to reach out to them. The advantage here with follower ads is multiple. First of all, your account grows. You will get more and more followers because you can basically buy your followers in your target niche. So you can target your ideal customer using the meta power and the ability to target everyone in the meta network, and you can guide them towards your profile. These might be people who never would see your organic content, but this way you can get them onto your profile, and if your profile is set up well, they will follow you or engage with you. The next advantage is that follower ads are way cheaper than ads that go to a funnel or a landing page. So the cost per lead is a lot cheaper, like 10 times, 20, 30 times cheaper. So for instead of getting one website click, you might get 10 new followers, which means we have 10 leads we can talk to instead of just having one person on the landing page who maybe never clicks or signs up on anything. So send them to your profile, get more followers and get more engagement and actually get more people to talk to. The other option is direct to DM ads. That also works quite well. In the past couple of years, this became more and more prominent on Instagram, where you can just share value and say the same thing like DM me scale, DM me money, DM me fitness, whatever. And whenever they click on your ad, it will immediately, instead of sending them to your profile, it will immediately go into your inbox with already a preset message, for example, scale, fitness, whatever, and they can just send it to you and start a conversation that way. In my opinion, follower ads are number one in our system. This is how you get the cheapest lead and can just squeeze out the most of your ad budget. And straight to DM ads also work well, but for me that's on second place. But this is things you just need to try out. Run both of these systems and see what works best for you, because it's always different. You can also boost your organic content that performs well. So you don't necessarily need to create separate ads. And also important, this is what I said after this, make it look like an organic post and not like an ad. People already are triggered fast by understanding what an ad is. Just imagine yourself on Instagram or Facebook scrolling, and you 90% accuracy, you can immediately track what is an ad and what is actually an organic post, right? And the best ads, that's something you should definitely remember forever. The best ads are the ones that don't look like ads. Try to make it like a post. And the best way to actually make this work is just use your organic content, which performed well. And I don't just mean performed well in case of views, but in actual results, engagements. How many new followers did you get per post? If you have a post that gave you extraordinary amount of followers or a percentage amount of more followers or more engagement than other posts, just go ahead into your profile and boost that specific post, so you don't need to create a new creative for your ads. You simply choose the target audience and send it out there, and more people who are not in your follower list or who you could not reach organically will see that post, and then from there go to your profile and they might follow you. One cheat code is something which I also didn't know until just recently, and that's I don't know, it's a breakthrough for me. If you boost these posts, don't do it on your Instagram app. Go to Instagram, go to desktop, analyze everything on the app, then go to desktop, open Instagram.com and boost your post from there. If you do it inside of the app, Apple will get a 30% cut, so your ads will be 30% more expensive. Makes sense. But I don't know how many millions of people probably boost their posts from their Instagram every single day, and this will immediately give you 30% more ad spend without any more results, so that's stupid. So here's a little nugget for you. Always boost posts from the desktop. Our goal is to get engagement. That's the whole purpose of these ads in this system, right? There is different systems, which we also used in the past, sending them to a landing page and stuff and to a funnel. This is not interesting right now. In this specific system, everything we want is just to get engagement. We want them to see the post, to like the post. You can qualify through the post by just talking to the people who are interesting for you. And if those people see this post, we want that they engage. They should like the post, they should comment on the post, they should view your story, go to your profile, follow you. There's so many things they could do, and if you are set up in the right way, you can use any of these triggers and signals to actually start a conversation with them. And that's our whole purpose. So there's multiple steps to this. First of all, we want to have the engagement. Second step is we want to get them into a call. And then the third step actually is to actually sell something. So there is a 3-step process roughly. And then with ads and organic content, we only want engagement. Because it's very rare that someone sees your post and goes to your profile, immediately clicks the link in the bio and then buys something. That worked 10 years ago maybe. People now are way more aware of what's happening, and you need to slowly guide them through the process which looks most organic to them. So they engage with you, they watch a couple stories, they watch your posts, then you talk to them, you give them some value, you understand their pain points, then you give them the call link, which is a free strategy call or consultation call, whatever, and then on the call you hit them with value and basically do the sale. Basically close them on that sale. But there is a process. You cannot jump right into the sale. It's like meeting someone you never met before and then trying to jump into bed straight away. That's not working. You need to go through the steps to actually warm these people up and make them trust you more and more. Cool. The next one is start conversations. That's already, like most of these things we already mentioned now, but I want to make this super clear. This is one of the most important steps, and this is the step where most people just fuck it up. Like, even if you have 1,000 followers, that's what I said before, you might have 10,000 leads. You might have one viral post that gets 10,000 likes or 2,000 comments, but most people don't do anything with this engagement, and that's a mistake. Start seeing your Instagram as a sales machine and not just as a pinboard for pictures you like of dogs and food or whatever. And if this is a sales machine, every engagement is a signal for us to actually talk to those leads. And you don't need to be rude or pushy or spammy. If people don't want to communicate with you, you will understand quite quickly. And this is also not coming off as too pushy if you send them a message. If your account, for example, is a decent size and someone likes your picture, they will actually appreciate if you send them a message and shortly just say, hey, thank you for the like. What did you like most about this post? What made you like this picture? What made you view my story and not follow me? Blah, blah, blah. Okay? So start a conversation to any new follower, story engager, story viewer, post commenters, likers of your post. And these are the main activities that people can do on your profile. Some of these things can be automated. For example, post commenters. If people comment under your post, you should definitely use a ManyChat automation or go high-level automation to send them a message straight away automatically. Most of the time it will be some keyword combined with with a lead magnet. Story engagers, new followers and likers, you cannot automate yet. However, we are already part of a beta which ManyChat is currently running with Facebook for messaging new followers on autopilot. Not even sure if we can or should talk about it. They don't like it, but yeah, here you go. That's hopefully the beta will be successful and will roll out, which means you can activate automated DMs to new followers soon, we hope, from ManyChat. However, story engagers, likers, and likers probably being the most, right? you're probably getting more likes than you get any other engagement. For these things, we still need a lead generation team, a sales team, a VA, or anything that can manually take care of these tasks. And the ROI of this task is so high that it doesn't really matter if you pay $3, $4, $5, $6 per hour to someone to go through your likes every single day and send them a message. That's fine. Also, it's not as bad as cold outreach. So if people follow you and you send them a message, the same limits do not apply to you. Cold outreach, like with AutoIGDM or any other tool, is limited to 50 a day because it's actually cold leads. But if someone follows you, engaged with your account, Instagram doesn't count the same limits for those people. So you can message way more people who follow your account or engage with your content than you can message cold leads, which also means more leads for us, right? Use personal and relevant openers. So if you do it yourself, if you're still starting off, or if you're still below, 10K MRR or 10K monthly revenue, if you do these things yourself, which in my opinion you should outsource as fast as you can, be personal and be relevant. Don't just say, hey, thank you for following. Say, hey, name, thank you for following, what made you follow me? Or take a moment, go to their profile and give them some compliment on something on their profile. Or make sure to actually have a relevancy to which story they viewed, right? If they just viewed one of the story, ask them why they viewed this story and not the other ones. So try to make relevant and personal openers so they actually see, okay, there is a human behind this who actually wants to know something from me, and you will see that the reply rates of these messages are exponentially higher than from any cold DM, because these people engage with you, they have seen you before, they know your face most probably, and if you message them because of an interaction and be personal and relevant and fast enough, then the probability of getting a reply, in my opinion, is higher than 50% plus from the experience we have. Offer value fast, uncover pain points. If they agree to go into a conversation with you and open a conversation and you're already talking to them, try to uncover pain points. If you're a fitness coach, for example, just ask a simple question like, how's training going? That's it, right? It's that simple. How is training going? This is not salesy, this is not pushy, this actually shows that you're interested in that person, and it also relates to your business and to your expertise. So this guy who might not be in shape is texting with this fitness coach who's ripped, and he's asking him how's training going. He might think that, yeah, cool, let me tell him how training is going, I might get some useful tips, right? I'm struggling with this right now, I'm doing this and that, and then give them value. And then you already did 50% of the job, and then it's just very close to getting them on a call. Avoid selling or mentioning you have something to offer. This is very important. You are not like, hey, I have this fitness program. At that point, you lost. Build rapport, right? That's also how we set up our AI, to not talk about our offer. Obviously, it's a smart setter position where you have to first qualify during the conversation, provide value, and uncover pain points. And like Jordan Belfort says, if you want to sell something, you first need to talk and ask. So the best way of selling something is to asking, to ask, or asking, whatever. So you have to ask if they actually have an issue, and if they have an issue, what is their issue? Yeah, because if there is another ripped guy texting you, he might not need help with his fitness, right? And you will uncover that during the conversation. If you say, how's training? And he's like, yeah, it's going great. I go to the gym 5 times a day. I'm at 9% body fat. I have no issues whatsoever. Cool. You just understood that this is not your client, okay? Avoid selling or mentioning you have something. Set the correct frame for the conversation. Here's some examples. I gave you some of them. You can just read them yourself. I'll not go through them right now. Cool. Next step is the setting. You want to take over?
Yes.
Cool. I'll just continue to sit here and manage this part.
All right. So the setting process, probably the most exciting process that most people have no clue how to do. When you're setting, like Sad already said, you want to sell the call, not the service. So you don't want to be like, hey, I actually have this fitness offer and I can coach you for 6 months. You want to actually get them on the call. What we see our clients do consistently is call it a free consultation, a free strategy call, a free whatever, but you want to frame it in a way where it's a call to help them and not a call to make you money. So that's a really big thing in setting, which is a beginner's mistake. So that's setting 101. You want to pre-frame the conversation. So like Sada said, when you're walking through the conversation with them, you want to ask them questions about their situation, uncover pain points. You want to offer quick value, but keep it short. You don't want to do like long paragraphs with workout tips. You want to short value burst and then ask them another question about it. And then you want to transition to the call. So that could look something like, hey, listen, I know we're getting deep into the conversation here, but I actually do these free strategy calls. So if you have 15 minutes in the next days, would you be open to hopping on a quick call so we can go over some of these things that we talked about and put a plan in place for you? So make the call seem like the solution to the pain points that you uncovered. And then on the call, you can transition them to the next portion, but also on the call you should do what you promised and actually look at their situation and then transition into the sale. You shouldn't be framing the call as this free strategy call and then come in and immediately try to sell them something, right? Inside of the DMs, you should also qualify and make sure they are a fit. So that's about the needs first. So if you're a fitness coach, you want to make sure they actually need it. If they look better than you, they may not actually need it unless you're very specialized on, like, for example, knee pain. Like we have a client, he's specializing on knee pain. So that would be a different situation. And then you can qualify them for the budget. Like, could they actually afford what you have to offer? You can do this either by looking at their Instagram profile and just looking at what they look like. If they're 16, may not be able to afford it. If they are flexing their BMW M4 on the profile, they probably would be able to afford it. So you can make some assumptions there. Asking straight up whether they have a budget is most of the time not a good idea. If you have a lot of leads, you can maybe do it and get away with it just because you have so many leads that you need to filter them somehow. But that's not something you should do at the beginning. Speed to lead is king. So also with the case study before, if you reply after 3 days, people don't really give a fuck anymore.
Or they bought somewhere else.
Or they bought somewhere else. So making sure you reply fast is important. At the beginning, when you do it yourself, you're gonna have to be on your phone a lot. As soon as you start to outsource this to setters, you're still gonna have a lot of issues with the time zone management, all of those things. So the best way to do it, which is what we do, is to do it with AI. So it's just there 24/7, it's always fast, so speed to lead is always incredible. And then an important process which actually comes after the setting when you book in the call, where there's a big gap usually in how many calls you book and how many people actually show up to the call, is a big difference. So way less people are gonna show up compared to those who actually book. So that's where pre-call reminders come in. What we really like doing is having WhatsApp and SMS as a fallback. So we'll try to message them on WhatsApp. If we can't message them there, we'll send them an SMS. Obviously all automated with AI, so you can use Calendly for SMS and email, I believe. Email is obviously a given, send email reminders, but then you can do SMS with Calendly. What we do is we automate it with AI through Go High Level, so you can also use something like Go High Level. I think I've made a couple of videos on this as well on how to automate WhatsApp and SMS over there. And what we do here is we message them 24 hours before, excited for the call tomorrow. We message them an hour before, hey, the call's in an hour, excited to speak, here's the link, and we actually share the Zoom link. And then 1 minute before the call, we say, hey, joining now, here's the link. And that really increases show-up rates by a lot. Like we've seen 90% show-up rates with this system, which is pretty crazy. So that's something where a lot of people miss out. And if you're at the beginning and you barely have any calls, please take the time to remind people to actually show up, because there's nothing more painful than blocking time on your calendar and then the lead doesn't even show up. Sweet.
Yeah, perfect. Now let's get to the meat. Actual interesting part.
This is still the follow-up, and then you do the presentation after.
Ooh, okay, let's go.
Cool. All right, so following up forever. A lead may not be ready to buy now, but they may be ready to buy in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, whatever the case is. 81% of sales happen after the 5th touch point, and a touch point can be multiple things. It can either be watching a story, watching multiple pieces of content, or by talking to them multiple times in DMs. And losing leads in the inbox is the biggest revenue loss for most. Sarah is going to show you guys a solution for that in a second, so we're very excited. There's a little bit of a sneak peek here on the screen. Before that, I just want to go into follow-up frameworks. A lot of people have asked, okay, how do I follow up? Like how do I make it not weird to come back in after I've been ghosted and follow up multiple times? So I've put a couple quick frameworks here. Using humor is a great one. That's memes, GIFs, and funny messages. I've put some examples in the bottom below. We'll go over those in a second. And one of the most important mindset frameworks is to not take it personally and don't come off as desperate. This is the same in business, in setting, and in dating, and in anything else. The more desperate you are and the more personally you take it, the worse off you're going to be. So try to detach. At the beginning, when you're not making money, it's going to be hard to detach from one specific lead. But remember, there's millions, if not billions, of leads for your offer out there. So getting hung up on that one specific lead is something you shouldn't do. So be ready to let them go as well. A basic follow-up sequence could look something like this. So you could do a first follow-up one day after being ghosted. Let's say, for example, you just offered them to book in a call and you sent them the link. You can ask them if they had any trouble finding a suitable time slot. 3 days later, you can drop something like, just checking in, did you see my last message? Also, these examples are a little bit mixed for different situations, but just to give you an idea, 5 days later, you could come in and say, did I say something wrong, or did you get caught in the matrix? So there's some humor in there as well. You could send a GIF as a follow-up, a funny GIF, waving, like, hello, you still there, something like that. And after 10 days, you can just say, hey, haven't heard back in a while. Let me know where you'd like to go from here. After this, and this is where what Sarah's about to show is going to come in, you can follow up with them regularly over time. And that's something that almost nobody does, because let's say you get 50 DMs a day. Are you going to be remembering people from 6 months ago that you want to follow up with again? Probably not. So, but you can follow up with these people after 30 days, 90 days, 180 days, a year, 2 years, 3 years. And those old leads could potentially come around, especially if you come back in 180 days later and you're like, hey man, how's the back pain going that you told me about? And he's going to be like, what the hell? This guy remembers what I told him 6 months ago. So it kind of builds a deeper connection there as well. So most people stop the follow-ups after this 10-day sequence, but continuing it after and pulling it out over time and making sure that you actually don't forget to follow up with them is really one of the big things. And at this point, I think I'll hand it over to Sarah if that's the next thing on the slide. I think so.
Yeah, I think now it's okay. Cool. Yeah, I can do that easy. Okay. And before even moving on, like the follow-ups part is something that you can shine with, because that's something most people have not figured out yet. Like, you wouldn't believe how many businesses are really bad at following up. And there is studies out there, one of them being the most important one, that shows that 81% of most sales are done after the 5th touch point. And if someone goes to your message, that does not immediately mean that they're not interested or not a proper lead. They might just have other DMs, other things to do. Life is busy, it's Instagram, they might get a lot of DMs, so there is multiple reasons why that can be the case. And most people, if you structure the follow-ups smartly, and if you are not pushy and actually negative in any way with your follow-ups, then most people will have no issue with you following up. I have the situation very often that many people say, appreciate the follow-up. I forgot, I lost this message, and I closed a lot of people after following up multiple times, and usually that's even my biggest tickets. So and also, that's what I wanted to frame right now. Most of the times, these are even the highest quality leads, because these people are busy. These people have shit to do. They are not just sitting around waiting for your message. But after you follow up with them, most of them will actually be happy about it. And if they're not, they can tell you and you can still stop, right? It's not like the end of the world. So just do rather more follow-ups than less follow-ups, which is better for your business, I promise. Cool. Step number 5 is scaling. That's a quick one and quite obvious one. The manual approach, the setter follows the script, qualifies and books leads. Everything we just discussed, basically, that's the manual approach. If someone does this manually in the Instagram app or in the Facebook Business Manager, and that's best for starting out, but we want to be, as said, that's multiple steps, and it's a lot to do for an actual human. To do the outreach is already something humans need to do, right? We talked about that. But to qualify the leads, stay on track with every single conversation while having 10 conversations in the same time, then following up consistently multiple times. Remember the context of what they told you. They have knee pain, or they feel too fat since a year, or they want to lose weight for a wedding. Like, this can get overwhelming for humans quite fast, so the quality degrades. So even if your appointment setter might be able to handle 50 conversations in a day, the quality of them overall will decline. And this is exactly why most clients in the end find us, because they see these issues, they see it's hard to scale with the team, there is time zone problems, there is the quality decrease, and then we come into play and actually implement an AI approach. I would highly suggest everyone who has more than 10-15 conversations per day to look at solutions for this. Even if it's not us, just look out there. How can you do this? How can you automate messages? How can you automate most of these things? Because humans also make mistakes. There's a human error rate, which AI just simply doesn't have. And the thing with speed to lead, time zones, and keeping the context, that these are 3 killer arguments why you should not overlook the possibility of using AI these days. The main bottleneck you will face forever is the volume of leads in your DMs, which means that for the system to work, you need more and more and more leads. In the sense that if that system is implemented, and that's how we go with the clients. We usually go 2 months or 3 months while building the solution, while developing everything. We implement these systems into their business, and once this is integrated, then we say, all right, the system is running smoothly. Now we just need to double the leads, triple the leads, 5x the leads, 10x the leads, which is quite simple when you are running ads. Or if you're creating content, if you create 1 piece of content per week and you need 5x the leads, just create 5 pieces of content per week, right? So this is something that you always have leverage of after you have automated and figured out the actual sales process and systems in your business. You can only optimize so much. At some point, you simply need more leads. That's what I just explained. And for me, the most important part, and why we potentially sit here today, is automate everything you can to be set up for success as you scale, which means you don't want to be overwhelmed with leads and then at the same time have the problem of now trying to automate everything. I mean, it's a good problem to have too many leads, but that also means that you're losing a lot of leads if you don't have the process and systems in place. So we always, as just said, our first step is to automate everything we can, give the team members who are there SOPs, give everything else to AI and automation and ManyChat and Go High Level and CRMs and tools and DM Tracker, implement everything that can automate something throughout this process, and then scale after that, not other way around. But that should be quite obvious and simple to understand for everyone. Okay, now we get to the meat, demo time. And some of you who are waiting here from the DM Tracker as users, or from the DM Tracker waitlist, or from our email list, or from our school, or from wherever you come from, I'm super excited to actually show you the newest innovation of the OmniFusion AI factory, if you want. It's a kind of a nice word, I would say. And that is the DM Tracker. And for the DM Tracker, I will simply share my screen again and show you how it looks like.
This one?
Yes. So this is the DM Tracker. Basically, I mean, if you're interested about what it does and how to start, whatever, it's free to start. I'll talk about that later, but you might just wait until I'm finished here, because we have a small surprise for everyone who made it through listening to us for such a long time. This is the DM Tracker, which is here to maximize your profit per lead from Instagram DMs. And to explain it simple, which I'm struggling with most of the time, it is a follow-up board. It is a CRM for everyone who does sales on Instagram. We figured out that our clients have everything figured out. They have the AI to take the conversations. They have thousands of leads, but what they always struggled with is to know when to follow up with whom. Instagram is not built for sales. We all know that. Go High Level and ManyChat can only do their part until it's not anymore in their specialty, let's say. And this is exactly where we saw a need, and this is exactly what we built with the DM Tracker, which I'm very proud of. And I'll show you exactly how this works. The DM Tracker is connected to ManyChat. So you connect the DM Tracker in 2-minute setup, basically with your ManyChat. And from that moment on, every single lead who messages your account at least once will be in our CRM. And this lead will continuously be tracked throughout his journey, through the sales process we just explained you, or through any other sales processes, to be honest. And as soon as this person, this contact, this lead stops replying or ghosting, the M tracker in the backend starts a countdown timer. So from the last reply, the last message we received from a lead, we always start a countdown timer. And whenever that timer is up, we will show up this lead on this follow-up board. And the time that this happens is totally up to you. So on the left side, you see stages, and similar to other automation platforms, you can build out your own stages for follow-ups, right? So contact stopped replying, or we have sent an outreach DM and he never replied to us. This is actually the magical part, because you cannot track this with Go High Level, you cannot track this with ManyChat, you cannot track this with any other tool. This is again something that only our tool does. You can say wait 2 days and then add to the first follow-up. You can also set this up to be 1 day or 10 days or whatever. So this is totally up to you. And you can also assign as many steps as you want. If you want to follow up only 3 times, fine, put in 3 stages. If you want to follow up 10 times, fine. And as Emil said, sometimes it's valuable to follow up 6 months later, right? Just to say, hey, Gary, how did your knee pain go? Did you resolve your issue? Or how's training going now? Did you lose the weight? How was the wedding you wanted to prepare for? So many possibilities. Just go ahead, put a stage in here, which is, let's just do it together. Wait 12 days. Now we add a new stage. 180 days after the last follow-up, I simply press on add stage and that's it. If this lead did not reply back to us for 180 days, he will show up in this beautiful, easy to understand board. And from this board, you simply put your sales team, your lead generation team, or your setters, or in the beginning yourself, onto this board and train them that every morning while starting their work, they just come here and do the follow-ups that are necessary. They can simply click on the Instagram username, which takes them straight into the right Instagram account. This is obviously a demo page. So I cannot really show you a client account, but we have...
The first one is me.
Yeah, here. Okay. Let's showcase Emil's Instagram, the new one. So you simply click on that username, then you go to message, send your follow-up, come back here and mark him as done. Boom. For the past decade or for the past 10 years or even longer, most companies or all companies, all coaches, consultants are using Google Sheets. And when I saw that, I thought, okay, we have to do something. Google Sheets is not built to be your CRM. Google Sheets does not track your replies. Google Sheets does not notify you if a follow-up is necessary. And using the M tracker, you can completely get rid of Google Sheets in your business for this purpose. So you can, first of all, you have the follow-up board, which is as many stages as you want. We just created this new stage, as you can see. And as soon as time passes, new people will come up here. And if you have a lead, for example, where you click on the username and see in the conversation that he said, please don't message me again, or I have a coach now, I'm not interested, whatever, you can simply, instead of saying mark as done, you can simply click here and say no follow-up needed. And then he will immediately move to the finished board. And it's super simple. You just do your follow-up, mark him as done, or say no follow-up needed, and it's good. Everything else is 100% automated, and as soon as the next timer is over, Emil, for example, I just said mark as done, why ever it did not disappear here, now it did. 5 days later, if he doesn't reply back to me, you can bet that Emil will show up again here. So whoever wakes up that day, just clicks on that card again, goes to Instagram profile of Emil and just message them again. This is for all ongoing conversations you have, or even for outreaches. So you can also go to the outreach tab, and while doing outreach, someone just followed your account. You simply come here, add his contact, add the reason why you reached out to him. For example, he's a new follower, and then you can also choose the message you sent to him, and you simply click on add contact. And then he will always show up in your CRM. And as soon as this person replies back, we are syncing that in the backend. But if he does not reply back, 2 days later, he will show up in the first follow-up stage, which means for us, we can go back in, see the message, and reply back to him or follow up with him and click him mark as done. This is the core functionality. You can track outreach, you can track follow-ups, you can have your whole sales team work here, you can go to settings and actually invite your whole team, and everyone has their own accounts. Now to the good and to the meaty part, something that Google Sheet cannot do at all. That's statistics. Like here you can see who in your team, here's a leaderboard, Who in your team is doing most of the outreaches? Who in your team is doing most of the follow-ups? Who in your team is an underperformer? Who in your team is an overperformer? And you can also assign bonuses to these statistics. Many of our clients actually do that, which means they go to their setting team, it's 6 people who are doing outreach, for example, and follow-ups, and they say whoever has the highest numbers at the end of the month will get $500 bonus. And these people are motivated like never before to actually do that. Because in Google Sheets, it's impossible to get these stats. And here we have the stats on a daily basis, and we can immediately see who is doing the outreach, how many have been sent. We can see a response rate, which definitely should be bigger and more visible. We just released this feature yesterday. And you can see how many follow-ups have been sent, how many outreaches have been sent. You can see the follow-ups sent per stage. You're basically getting a lot of statistics and insights, because only if you can track what's working, you can actually improve your sales process. If not, you're always going by guesswork. So we want to make decisions based on data and not on guesswork, right? We want to see who's performing well in the team. We want to see who's not. We want to see who's lazy and just sitting out their hours. And we want to see who's actually putting in the work and reward them more. What's coming soon here is also to track outreach performance by message. And this is a big one. There is no other tool that I know of out there on the market that can track and A/B test your outreach messages to each other. So you have 3 different outreach messages. You can tell your team to use these outreach messages. For example, for every 3rd lead, they use another message. They choose the message they are sending during the outreach, and in the statistics page you will see which outreach message gave you the highest reply rate. And this way you can actually improve your outreach to not just talk to more leads, but to actually convert more leads from an outreach message into a conversation. And we will have even more statistics. And if you're using the M-Tracker and want some statistics that we could provide, simply go to this chat box at the bottom right corner and just tell us what you need. Right now we are shipping new features twice a week. So whatever you might need, if more than one person asks for it, chances are high that we are gonna build it, right? So yeah, this is shortly everything about the M-Tracker. There is more functionalities coming soon. The setup is super simple. You simply log in, you go through the setup that takes not even 5 minutes. You copy a template to ManyChat, which is an automation template. And from that moment on, everything is synced and you can only work from this page. You don't need Google Sheets anymore. You can track everything here. You can see who has been sent to, who is finished. You can see all the contacts in your database, and so on and so on. You can search for leads, multiple different features we have here. Yeah, I think that's it from the presentation perspective. I don't want to even drag it out too much, but this should show you the power of this tool, because our client, and I just saw some stats and it's too bad I cannot show it here. I just needed to change account because I cannot show you client account, sadly. But that client made 32,000 follow-ups in the past 30 days. And now you know why this business is running $450,000 per month. This company with two people take care of the follow-ups, Filipino VAs. I don't know what they are paid, but they're probably not the highest paid people in the company. And they work relentlessly since they have the M-Tracker, because now they compare themselves to each other and everyone wants to be at the top. And these 2 people were able, thanks to the M-Tracker, to send 32,000 follow-ups in 30 days, which is insane. And the amount of revenue increase just because of doing that is crazy. And these are leads you already have. These are leads which you probably wouldn't text again, right? You send them an outreach message, maybe you find them again by chance and send them a follow-up and then they are lost. No, this client sends them 5 follow-ups and he does it in a smart way. He's not just saying, hey, are you there? Hey, are you there? Hey, are you there? No, he has a normal follow-up and then he sends valuable resources. Hey, you didn't get back to me, but here's a free workout plan that our clients are using. Feel free to download it from here. Send the link. Here is this. Here is that. Send valuable information. And most often than not, these people come back after not replying for 3 weeks. They say like, thank you for the resource. Really like the workout. Boom. What happens from that moment on? He replied back. And that means our AI is back engaged. Our AI continues the conversation and says, cool that you like the workout. How's your training going right now, right? Or whatever it might be. The AI has the context of the conversation. And the whole system comes together with the M-Tracker. And I want to highlight this because What happens here is that previously, before working with this specific client I'm just talking about, he had 5 or 6 appointment setters who were having this conversation, which 10,000 conversations per month. They don't even know what these people want or need. Probably a very stressful job as well. I would not like to change places with them. We integrated the whole thing. We built an AI. We implemented it. There's no appointment setters necessary anymore. The only human team that's there right now, we call them lead gen team. The only purpose of them being there, using the M tracker, is to get a reply. No matter which reply, just a reply. Because as soon as they reply, our AI gets back on track and takes over the conversation. And they can only focus on making outreach, making follow-ups to get replies, to feed it to the AI, right? And when you grasp this strategy and the system, it makes so much sense. One more thing to mention, there is a 24-hour rule for the Meta API. ManyChat, Go High Level, any other tool only has access to the conversations for 24 hours. So if someone replies, our AI continues the conversation. If they do not reply back, our AI does the follow-up. After 6 hours of no reply, we say, hey, you got my last message, or whatever, some smart follow-up. And then after 23 hours and 59 minutes, we send the next follow-up, fully automated with AI. No need for the M tracker or anything else, because it's in that 24-hour window. But after those 24 hours are over, we have no access to that lead anymore. If we would, then the M tracker would probably not be necessary. If the AI could just continue, send the follow-up fully on autopilot, fine. Still cool to have statistics and everything else, but the follow-up board would not be necessary. However, as we have this 24-hour rule, it's super important to then hand over that lead to the human team, because they can still reach out in the Instagram app, but the AI cannot. And to hand over this lead to the human team, that's actually the M tracker. So in our use case, we use the M tracker as the bridge between the AI and the human sales team. And the human sales team only need to engage with the leads that are on this board. Everything else, every other lead, every other contact, every other conversation, which there is thousands per day, doesn't need to be touched by any human. The AI has it under its control, but whoever falls out of that by not replying for 24 hours will arrive in this board, and the sales team can simply nudge them until they get a reply. That's how it works in our system. I'm pretty sure there's so many other use cases for this as well out there, but we will see. We just launched 2 weeks ago. We're very happy with how it did so far, and we would absolutely appreciate if every single one of you who is using it gives us feedback. Giving us feedback is free, and we will actually read every single message and build features that you guys need, right? We already built everything we need. It's done. Now we are going and seeing what can we build for other users of this platform. Okay, so far so good. After the demo, we said that we have a special surprise, an exclusive something for you. For everyone who's in this presentation and who's seeing this right now, we have one special offer for you today, which is if you are going to try the M tracker, and let me say this out loud, it's free. 14 days free, you don't pay me a single penny. If you think you have a use case for it, if you want to follow up with every single lead, if you want the statistics, if you have a sales team to manage, if any of these things is true for you, if you do outreach and you want to track it somewhere else than on Google Sheets, try out the M tracker. It's 100% free, risk-free. Just try it out. You can actually not lose anything by doing it. And if you really like it and want to stick with us, just because you were part of this workshop, we just activated a code for you in Stripe, which is called workshop. And if you use that code workshop, which is only active until Sunday evening, so only this weekend, you will get 25% off for lifetime. For any amount of seed, for any amount of month you are using it, it will just be 25% off for you for lifetime, as a short thank you for making it through this presentation with us. Now we're going to, thanks for watching first and foremost, and now we want to start a Q&A. I don't know if we already have some questions in the chat. The Notion research link, yeah, I can definitely make that happen. Now we are on open Q&A. You can ask us anything. Ask us about the system, the process, the strategy, any question about the M tracker. Feel free to ask us whatever you feel like. I'm pretty happy that we made it in 70 minutes. That's good. It's a new record.
That is good, yeah.
1 out of 2. And so yeah, we'll give it a couple more minutes. If you guys have any questions, put it in the chat. Enter the messages there. I will check the chat if there's any questions from
Already
before.
checked. There's no questions because we did such a good job.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, it's obvious. And yeah, even if you're watching this later and not live, put your question into the comments. We always read every single comment ourselves, and we will answer you inside of the comments happily without any issue, because that's what we promised. If there's actually no question from the chat, I would say we can close this off here. I'm super happy about being able to share this.
Do we want to drop the Notion research link in the chat?
Yeah, I thought I can drop it into the description, but let me share that link for you just here. And here we go. Thanks. If you enjoyed this, drop something in the chat so we actually know this was valuable and we didn't waste your time. Just drop W. Some people are already saying it was valuable. Thank you. Do you think the system works better for high ticket or low ticket offers? Actually, it doesn't really matter. And I mean, maybe not for e-commerce because you have too many leads to actually invest the time to talk to every single one. I would say everything from mid-ticket, everything above $100, $200 product price is worth pursuing that client. If your product costs $7, it might not be worth it for you to follow them continuously and actually spend the time and effort. Everything high ticket, this is not even just useful but necessary, but I would say everything above $100-200 is important. Okay, now we have a couple things. You want the DM tracker but ready to buy after Sunday. Just start your trial now. I mean, I don't know what would stop you from trying now. So if you want to have the discount, just start your trial until Sunday, and the first time you will pay anything with the 25% off is 2 weeks later. And in the meantime, if you decide you don't like it, just cancel and you wouldn't have paid a single penny. So that might help. Does it have an API feature? It does not have API feature right now, but that's definitely something on the list. If you have a specific use case, a specific API you would need, please drop it in the comments here or in the platform. Just send us a message, give us feedback, and we will put that on our roadmap because I'm pretty sure that API feature is super helpful. We also want to work on a Go high level integration, and we have 100 tasks on the backlog, you can't imagine. But depending on what you guys say, we will shuffle around the priorities. Do you get charged during the trial? No. But thanks for that question. No, the 14 days are completely free. Use it to any extent you want. And also right now, it's unlimited. Unlimited contacts, unlimited automations, unlimited outreach. This will change, just saying, because it creates more cost for us on the server side. We will have multiple plans. So whoever joins now during the launch time will always have the highest plan. If we add new plans, whoever is already in will always have the highest plan, which is unlimited. I never said that before, but this will change to 100%. So yeah, if you think that might be helpful, jump in right now.
We have a question we missed above. How much is the DM tracker subscription monthly? It's $39 a month. With the discount, it's $29. So for the discount for this workshop, and like Sada said, in future there's going to be more expensive plans, but with this one you get that by default. And there's a 14-day free trial. So if you're just curious, just get the free trial, and there's no reason not to try it. Yeah, and there's also, obviously it's a trial, there's no questions asked, but if there's one thing I can ask you for, even if you cancel, drop us a message, why? We might just build the feature you need a week later. And back to the price, as being a SaaS founder ourselves, it's always hard to estimate the price. We obviously have cost for it, we have multiple developers running it, we have a backend to pay. However, we try to stay at least 10 or 100x ROI. So most clients who are using the M-Tracker and clients we work with have products between $2,000 or $1,000 to $10,000, $15,000.
and we thought about, okay, if we can get these people at least one more sale per month, would it be worth paying $39 per month? And everyone said definitely yes, and this is why we started with 39. It will definitely become more expensive in the future, but right now that's the price, and I think it's quite fair. One thing to mention though, if you invite your sales team, it's seat-based pricing. So if you have 2 people in the team, it's 2 times $39 or $29 depending on if you have the discount or not. So it's based on seat, similar to how you use Intercom or some other tools out there. Deployed on premise. I don't really get what that means. Feel free to specify this more deeply and I can answer it. Do beginners also require this lead tracker? It depends. I would say if you have more than 5 to 10 conversations per day, DM tracker definitely makes sense. But if you set it up from the beginning, you will have better data earlier, and you will also have the leads already in the DM tracker. So even if you grow later on, these leads will not get lost. It's really hard to say from what moment on you need it, but as said, just think of it as, can this help me to get one more sale? And if the answer is yes, then I would say try it out. Does the DM tracker work with DMs that you previously have before purchasing the tracker, or do you have to manually put them all in the tracker? For any reply, for any conversations you had before DM tracker, we have no option to getting that data, not from Instagram, not from ManyChat. That's sadly a technical limitation. If you have a lot of them, and if they are in a sheet or whatever, we are trying to work on like something like an import feature. So if you have these leads somewhere, send us a message and we can see what we can do for you specifically and maybe build out a feature for this. However, as it is built right now, everything after syncing with ManyChat, from that moment on, everything will be tracked. If you have ongoing conversations right now and you connect the DM tracker to ManyChat, and in these ongoing conversations someone replies back to you, that lead will automatically be inside of the DM tracker as well. However, you can also always add them manually. Just go to the outreach part, add your leads, and they will forever be tracked in the DM tracker. Great product, great offer. Thank you. I think we're done here.
Yep. Any other questions, just put them in the comments.
Yeah.
And we'll reply there.
We'll reply there, yeah, definitely. Cool. Thank you so much. If you got any value out of this 1.5-ish hours of us yapping around, please leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. Obviously, we will post more about the DM tracker soon. And if you have any question, it's me and Emil actually right now inside of the DM tracker in that chatbot thing. Because we want to be as close as possible to the community, especially in the beginning. So if you have any questions, it's us. Just send us a message and we will reply back to you quite fast. Not as fast as our AI, but we're still quite fast. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening.